Welcome to our defense briefing show. Today we've got some exciting news from around the world. First up, the US House has approved a hefty $300 million aid package for Taiwan's military, supporting arms sales and military assistance to help Taiwan stand strong against regional threats, especially from China. This move aligns with Taiwan's recent increased defense spending and U.S. arms deals, including a record $11 billion sale aiming to bolster Taiwan's defenses amid ongoing tensions. Next, a WWII bomb in Exmouth is said to be safely disposed of at sea after military experts assessed it as safe to do so. Thousands of residents had to evacuate as the bomb was carefully transported to the sea during high tide. Authorities are working swiftly to resolve the situation, ensuring safety for everyone involved, while nearby bombs in Plymouth are still under investigation. Finally, the U.S. is proposing a new $2.5 billion agency dedicated to boosting domestic production of critical minerals like rare earths. This strategic move aims to reduce reliance on China, which currently controls most of these materials, and to secure supply chains for tech and defense industries. With recent investments and international alliances, the U.S. is making a bold effort to stay ahead in the race for strategic independence. Please continue to watch for more detailed coverage. The South China Morning Post reports that the U.S. House of Representatives has recently approved a bill allocating $300 million to support Taiwan's military, marking a significant step in U.S.-Taiwan relations amidst ongoing tensions with China. This legislation, part of a broader government spending package, is expected to become law after passing the Senate, which has already approved other related bills. The military aid includes direct support for Taiwan's defense capabilities, reflecting Washington's unwavering stance against Chinese aggression and its commitment to arm Taiwan despite Beijing's vehement opposition. The bill also emphasizes prioritizing the timely delivery of defense articles and services, signifying a strategic move to bolster Taiwan's self-defense amid increasing Chinese military exercises and cyber attacks. Meanwhile, Taiwan's leadership has announced a substantial increase in defense spending, underscoring its determination to deter Chinese threats, even as opposition parties criticize the vagueness of the spending details. The U.S.'s support extends beyond aid, with provisions that tighten oversight on China-related research collaborations, signaling a comprehensive approach to counter Chinese influence and military expansion in the Indo-Pacific region. BBC details the ongoing threat posed by unexploded World War II bombs discovered in Exmouth and Plymouth, prompting large-scale evacuations and security measures. In Exmouth, a 50 kilograms German bomb was uncovered at the marina, leading authorities to extend safety cordons to 600 meters and displace around 5,000 residents, with hundreds more affected by the expanded exclusion zone. Bomb disposal experts have meticulously assessed the device, ultimately deciding to transport it safely to sea for detonation at high tide, an operation involving careful coordination and expert judgment to minimize risk. Similarly, in Plymouth, a separate unexploded bomb was found at a construction site, resulting in a 100-meter safety perimeter and temporary closures of local facilities, including schools and offices. The response underscores the unpredictability and lingering dangers of wartime remnants buried beneath modern developments, with authorities emphasizing swift, safe disposal methods and ongoing public support to manage the evolving situation. The incident highlights the persistent challenges of land and water contamination from historical conflicts, requiring expert intervention and community cooperation for safe resolution. South China Morning Post reports on bipartisan legislative efforts to establish a $2.5 billion agency dedicated to boosting domestic production of rare earths and critical minerals vital for high-tech industries. and military applications. This initiative comes amid heightened U.S. concerns over China's dominance in the global supply chain, which has led to strategic moves such as the Pentagon's nearly $5 billion investment in securing critical mineral sources over the past year. The proposed legislation aims to create an independent body responsible for building a strategic stockpile, stabilizing prices, and encouraging domestic and allied mineral extraction, thereby reducing reliance on China's market leverage. The Trump administration has taken aggressive steps, including equity stakes and guaranteed prices in mineral companies, to counter China's chokehold, reflecting a shift towards strategic state involvement reminiscent of Chinese market tactics. These efforts align with broader U.S. initiatives to diversify supply chains, strengthen national security, and foster resilience against economic coercion as global powers recognize the critical importance of securing the raw materials essential for modern technology and defense. The legislation also encourages international cooperation and investment, with the U.S. seeking to lead a global effort to counter China's influence and ensure a steady supply of critical minerals for future technological and military needs. The Australian Broadcasting Corporation reports that the White House remains unconcerned about the deployment of European troops in Greenland, emphasizing that these military movements do not influence President Donald Trump's stance on the strategic island, despite Denmark's plans for a larger NATO presence and Trump's provocative suggestion that Greenland should belong to the United States, possibly by force. The U.S. administration downplays these developments, asserting that the modest European deployments serve as a deterrent and a means to bolster Arctic security. The situation has raised fears among EU countries that a U.S. attempt to seize Greenland could jeopardize NATO's unity, especially as European nations, including Germany, France, and Nordic countries, increase their military presence in the region. Meanwhile, Russia dismisses NATO's claims of threats from Moscow and Beijing, warning against escalation, but signals that any disregard for Russian interests in the Arctic will be met with a response. According to the Associated Press, the Pentagon is implementing a significant shift in its approach to the military newspaper Stars and Stripes, aiming to reorient its content towards serving service members and focusing solely on military matters. This move comes amid concerns that the publication's independence is being compromised, with recent reports indicating that job applicants were questioned about their support for Trump's policies, raising alarms about political loyalty tests. Pentagon officials assert that the publication will shed woke distractions and concentrate on warfighting, weapons, and military issues. But critics argue that this undermines the paper's historical role as an independent voice. The change reflects broader efforts under the Trump administration to tighten control over military journalism and restrict critical reporting, with some journalists and watchdogs warning that these moves threaten the press's credibility and independence. Yahoo US highlights the controversy surrounding the FBI's search of Washington Post reporter Hannah Nathanson's home, justified by White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt as a necessary action against leaks that endanger national security. Leavitt emphasized that the administration is committed to holding accountable those who unlawfully leak classified information, equating the investigation to a stance against the breaches of national security protocols. This stance echoes the administration's broader message that leaks from within the government will not be tolerated, regardless of journalistic privilege. Critics and legal experts point out that such actions raise concerns about press freedom and the right to publish classified information under certain circumstances, recalling the landmark Pentagon Papers case. The administration's firm stance on leaks underscores its prioritization of security over transparency, sparking ongoing debates about the balance between national security and press independence. BBC reports on escalating tensions between Ethiopia and Eritrea, highlighting the recent seizure of thousands of rounds of ammunition by Ethiopian authorities, allegedly sent by Eritrea to rebel groups in Ethiopia's Amhara region. The Ethiopian government claims this act signifies Eritrea's involvement in fomenting conflict, a charge Eritrea vehemently denies, accusing Ethiopia of fabricating false flags to justify war. The historical context underscores a complex relationship marked by a protracted struggle for independence, a devastating border war in the 1990s, and recent diplomatic efforts that aimed to normalize relations, only to be marred by renewed disputes over Red Sea access and accusations of meddling. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed emphasizes dialogue to resolve issues, yet the rising tensions and military accusations suggest the fragile peace is under threat amid broader regional instability. The BBC also reveals Sophie Turner's transformation into Lara Croft for the upcoming Prime Video series, marking a significant moment in video game adaptation history. The actress, known for her role as Sansa Stark in Game of Thrones, has stepped into the iconic archaeologist's boots, donning the classic green tank top and brown shorts reminiscent of the original PlayStation game. The series, scripted by Phoebe Waller-Bridge and featuring a stellar cast including Sigourney Weaver, aims to revive the beloved franchise, which has historically been a trailblazer for female protagonists in gaming. With the rebooted series emphasizing Lara Croft's depth and resilience, the show seeks to attract both fans of the games and new audiences, continuing the trend of successful adaptations that bridge gaming and television, such as Fallout and God of War, promising a new chapter for the legendary character. Yahoo reports on the U.S. military's ongoing enforcement of sanctions against Venezuela, detailing the seizure of the oil tanker Veronica in a pre-dawn operation supported by the U.S.'s Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier. The vessel, flying a Guyanese flag, was apprehended in the Caribbean Sea as part of the Trump administration's efforts to cut off Venezuela's oil exports in response to sanctions aimed at pressuring Nicolas Maduro's government. This marked the sixth interdiction of a foreign-flagged tanker since the campaign began, reflecting a broader strategy to disrupt Venezuela's oil industry and combat illicit activities in the region. The operation demonstrates the U.S. military's assertive stance in enforcing economic sanctions and controlling regional influence amid ongoing efforts to curb illegal maritime activities and exert pressure on Maduro's regime. BBC reports that over 20 British soldiers from the 32 Engineer Regiment in Catterick, North Yorkshire, face potential dismissal after testing positive for drugs in what is described as the Army's largest drugs bust. The incident, uncovered just before Christmas, involved 23 personnel out of 32 who were caught in a sting, with nearly 1 in 10 of those tested revealing cocaine use. The British Army emphasizes a strict zero-tolerance policy on substance abuse, asserting that such behavior is unacceptable and that disciplinary actions, including possible discharge, will follow ongoing investigations. The regiment, which provides vital combat engineering support to the 7th Light Mechanized Brigade, part of NATO's Very High Readiness Force, was among the units subjected to mandatory drug testing, highlighting the Army's comprehensive three-tiered approach: education, deterrence through testing, and disciplinary measures to combat illegal drug use among service members. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses thoughtfully curated by the 6DO team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6DO Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6DO team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6DO Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6DO Brief via email.
News breaks, buzz the ground, stories spit, walls come down. Voices merge in the sound, faces mix in the crowd. Broadcasters paint the scene, world events on our screen. Every link a different theme, words collide in the stream. 6 degrees connect the dots, background stories hold the nuts. Hear the voices rise aloud, truth unveils in every spot. Cultures clash across the globe, spin the threads in a stroke. Every story wears a robe, truth and lies in their code. Journalists dig real deep, secrets out they don't see. Every angle they will keep, in the news we take a lead. New perspectives day by day, hidden truths come to play. In the background shades of gray, every story finds its way. Perspectives day by day, hidden truths come to play. In the background shades of gray, every story finds its way.
Cultures, I go. What really or do not. What enough to be you, everything and ever. What enough and after, what enough and after, what enough and after, enough 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 enough